And welcome to the K-Files this morning. We just had a busy morning. We have with us JP, in case y'all forgot who he is. He was our co-host, and he took a couple of weeks off.
I'm back.
We're so glad you're back, JP Barnes. And we also have Derek Cooper from the Rocky Mount Police Department, and you are a homicide investigator.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So glad to have you this morning. We're gonna talk about a case or a couple of cases.
We have LaShawn Evans this morning that we're going to talk about.
Okay, and what is the date? When did this happen?
This happened on April the 30th of 2022. So,
Okay. All right, if you wanna tell us a little bit about it?
yeah, I can tell you a little bit about it. On April the 30th, 2022, around 11:15, members of the Rocky Mount Police Department responded to the 300 block of Middle Street. The call was related to a shooting with injury. It was later discovered that the residents was struck several times with projectiles entering the residence. One single round struck Miss LaShawn Evans while she was laying in the bed.
Wow. So that was kind of was that a drive-by?
Looking at the evidence and the way that the casings were in the roadway, it would
Mhm.
indicate that somebody was possibly in a vehicle at the time when this crime occurred.
Okay. So I believe we have pictures this morning. If we're ready with the pictures, I don't know if we've got those. There we go. So that is LaShawn Evans.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What a shame. Beautiful lady.
Beautiful lady.
And this is Middle Street.
Yes, ma'am. That's Middle Street, just off of Thomas Street.
I was gonna say, Middle Street is right there off of Thomas Street.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
know about where that's at.
And I'm assuming the evidence placards in the roadway are the casings.
Yes, that's gonna be
So that
placards.
vehicle was rolling when it was doing the shooting.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Gotcha. So they weren't stationary.
No, and that's a shot of the side of the house that if you were able to get a little closer, you would be able to see where those bullet impacts were on the residence.
Wow. What a shame, just a shame. You know, the K-Files, folks, we do this show. We ask you to come forward and help Derek Cooper, the homicide investigator in this case. We ask for your help. I mean, somebody knows something about this case because people talk. Would you agree?
I do.
People talk, and we know somebody knows something. And we have up to $15,000 that we are willing to pay for your tip. All you've got to do is call our hotline number. You can call the police department. Give us a phone number that they can call the police department if they want to call you direct.
If they want to call me direct, they can call me at 252-972-1478. That's my direct line.
Okay.
Or they can email me at my email address, which is derek.cooper@rockymountnc.gov.
And y'all do the text to tip as well, right?
We do the text to tip as well, which is totally anonymous, and we also receive tips through Twain County Crime Stoppers.
Do you get a lot of, do you see that the text to tip is getting to be more and more popular?
It is, because then people kind of are able to maintain
Yeah.
being anonymous
Their
and
anonymity,
providing
yes.
And you know, I know a lot of times with younger generation, like I've joked on here before, you know, my kids will literally text me from the next room in the house, you know, rather than get up and come in there and have a conversation. So I see it being more and more popular with younger people.
Yeah, most of the time.
To text what they know.
A lot of time people, you know, are never too far removed from their cell phones, so,
Yeah.
and that's their primary method of communication
Yeah.
a lot of times. So
Probably
And
feel
you-
more comfortable sharing a tip or sharing
Absolutely.
information.
That's a
Right.
very good point, JP. Yes, they do feel more comfortable, and they don't want people to know who they are.
Yeah.
And that is fine. We allow you to be anonymous. We don't want to know who you are. We just want the tip.
Mhm.
I mean, that's the main thing. I mean, So also, you mentioned Twin County Crime Stoppers. They can also call that. That is 977-1111. That's easy enough. 977-1111. Twin County Crime Stoppers. And Pernell, if you don't mind putting up the hotline number, you can also call that. So there are various ways. 406-6736. There's the number right there. You can also call. So call a number, call, text, do something. If you know anything, it is your duty to come forward to give this family closure. I mean, I don't know if she had children or she was married or anything about her family, but she, you know, she is probably somebody's mother or somebody's daughter. I mean, she has family.
Yeah.
And her family deserves closure. So please come forward, and let's go over this one more time. Middle Street.
300 block of Middle Street, around 11 p.m. on April the 30th of 2022. LaShawn was in her bed watching a movie when she was struck by this projectile. She does have a son, and I've been in contact with several family members over time, and ATF actually helped us with passing out flyers in the area right after the crime occurred to try to
Wonderful.
generate some leads at the time. So we're still, any help that we can get, would be
Sure,
greatly appreciated.
absolutely.
I don't know
Somebody
if-
please
I
come
don't know if
forward.
this is something that you can share or not, were there any witnesses to it?
Can't really answer
Okay,
that right now.
okay, I mean, I was just.
Yeah, I
kinda
understand.
Yeah,
wondering
anything
about
you
that.
can't
Yeah,
answer, we totally
totally
understand
understand.
that.
I've always said, a lot of times, homes in a given community, cameras, like I have cameras on my house, a lot of people have these doorbell cameras, they capture anything and everything.
Right.
And I try to encourage people to, to kind of go that route, because stop and think, if this house would have had a camera system that would have captured data of a suspect vehicle, direction of travel, how many people inside the vehicle, it's just like having an eyewitness. They're ready, willing, and able to provide you with tips.
Yeah, and with that being said, we have, that's a very dark street, as you can see in the crime scene photos. In addition to that, with new technologies that the police department has, we have the ability through Fusus to be able to, where the citizens can allow the police department access to their camera systems. We don't even have to come to your house.
That's been a really good thing for
It is,
y'all,
yeah.
hasn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
I know the chief came on and just really asked for businesses to participate
Right.
because it's just been such a good thing for y'all.
Yeah.
So, now tell everybody her name one more time so it will, resonate in somebody's mind.
LaShawn Evans.
LaShawn Evans, Middle Street, 300 block of Middle Street, right here in Rocky Mount, right off of Thomas Street. So, struck while she was in her bed watching a movie. Imagine that, folks. So please come forward if you know anything. All right. Well, we thank you, Investigator Cooper, and hope you'll come back the third weekend next month, and we'll see you then.
All right.
Great
Sounds
meeting.
good. Nice to meet you as
We'll
well.
be right back. Right after this, we'll be right back. And welcome back to the K-Files. We'll get right into some cases this morning. Listen up. As I said, I think I told you before, I'm pleased that we're getting a response. I went into the bank and the girl in there said, I watched this. She said, because I was making a deposit with our funds, some of the checks that have come in from our fundraiser. And she said, Teen Cold Case, she said, oh, I watched that show, that K-File show. She said, my cousin is one of the victims in your book. And it just hit me. I said, wow, this is people in our community
Mhm.
that need our help. So please, please call us, as I say so many times. There's a number on the screen, one of the numbers you can call, but please help us out. Help us solve some of these crimes, because you know what? It's people you go to church with that are that their family is a victim, It's people that, your neighbors, it's people you know, and you know you wanna help them get closure. So,
And by getting these people off
by
the
getting these
street,
people off the street.
you could be saving the life of one of your loved ones by
Absolutely.
having this suspect picked up,
Absolutely.
prosecuted, and incarcerated.
That's exactly right. We're gonna start with Jordan Elijah Clayton, JP.
Jordan Elijah Clayton. Looks like this case is from February 8th, 2021. Around 3:40 p.m., Rocky Mount Police responded to the 1900 block of Vernon Road in Rocky Mount. When they arrived, they found Jordan Clayton in the roadway with a gunshot wound. Clayton died at the scene. His family is adding an additional $5,000 to any other award money.
So that would make our reward up to $20,000 with their $5,000.
Up to $20,000. That's right.
How
That's
can you turn that down,
significant. Right.
folks? I mean, and it's cash. It is cash. You don't have to go to the bank, cash a check, show your identity. No, you just the law enforcement will hand you cash. So, and that's what our organization's all about, is raising money to do this. So,
Jordan Elijah Clayton. Again, this took place on February 8th, 2021, 3:40 in the afternoon, 1900 block of Vernon Road in Rocky Mount.
broad daylight.
Broad daylight, middle of the afternoon.
And Vernon Road is in Meadowbrook. It's right over there. Bedford Road, Beverly Road, Vernon Road. It's all over there together, kinda. So, over in Meadowbrook, in case you don't know where it is, folks. Okay, we'll go on to the next one, I guess.
And was that Moody?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Taquan Shaquille Moody. Taquan Shaquille Moody. This one was from February 13th, 2021. On February 13th, 2021, at 11:53 p.m., deputies with the Halifax County Sheriff's Office responded to a breaking and entering into a home on Everett School Road in Roanoke Rapids. Upon arrival, the deputies noticed that there was forced entry through a side door. Taquan Shaquille Moody was shot and killed during the home invasion. His great-grandmother, Miss Mabel Johnson, was struck in the head and knocked unconscious by the intruders. The governor's office is also offering an additional reward of $5,000.
There you go again.
Just like the previous case.
Yeah, $20,000
Get
again.
paid up to $20,000 reward.
Now, these cases are recent. These two cases are very recent. It was 2 years ago. So you should be able to, I know this is fresh, is still fresh in somebody's mind. So Everett School Road in Roanoke Rapids, I do not know where that is, but Roanoke Rapids is not but so big. So, anyway, I'm sure anybody in that area knows where that is. All right.
Did you see, speaking of Halifax, Roanoke Rapids is getting a new police chief, Shane Guyette.
Oh,
He
really?
worked for years with, I believe, Nash County Sheriff's Office. Great guy. I think he was currently working with Halifax County Sheriff's Office. He
Oh,
was
wow.
part of their command staff. Great guy. From what I understand, he starts with Roanoke Rapids July 1. I've got a personal relationship with him. We've
Well,
worked
we need
together.
to bring him on
See if we
here.
can send out
Once
an
he
invitation.
becomes chief.
Yes,
You know,
mhm.
I know he wants to wait.
Because, you know,
till he-
there's several cases in here that deal with Roanoke Rapids,
Oh,
and they're
yeah.
right up the street.
Absolutely. Roanoke
Mhm.
Rapids is what county?
Halifax.
Are they still Halifax
Mhm.
County?
Yes, ma'am.
I know when it goes over a little bit further north, it becomes, well, over more east, I think it becomes Northampton
Mhm.
County.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Roanoke Rapids is still Halifax County. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, very good. Maybe we can get the police chief to come on once he becomes chief and talk a little bit about this case. All right.
All right. Albert E. Dew Albert E. Dew. This case is from January 27th, 2021. Around 8:50 p.m., Rocky Mount Police responded to a report of shots fired in the 1400 block of South Franklin Street in Rocky Mount. When they arrived, they found a vehicle that had crashed into a home. Upon further investigation, they found Albert E. Dew had a gunshot wound. Emergency personnel pronounced him dead at the scene.
It sounds like he was either traveling down South Franklin Street and was just got struck. Somebody was shot into his car and the car wrecked because it hit him.
Right, or he had been shot somewhere and he was trying his best to
Exactly.
find medical attention.
And you wonder if he was targeted,
Mm-hmm.
or were they shooting at somebody else and he just happened to drive by, or we don't know the scenario. It's all
Right.
kinds of things that could have happened, but we don't know. But close to 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, and I believe this was January, so 9 o'clock at night in January, it's dark.
Oh yeah, and you know that is right there by the police department. That is right there by the police department. That's pretty bad, but it's sad. It really is
It
sad.
is.
So, all right, it's time for our break and weather. We'll be right back with you right after that. And welcome back to the K-Files. We hope you're joining us. But if you are not, we hopefully you are watching us on Friday night at 7 o'clock. Hopefully you'll go to YouTube at some point. If you're watching us today, I'm telling you how to access it in case one Thursday morning, you're out of place. So we are on YouTube. So you can join us. Okay, JP?
All right, this next case we're going to discuss is a new case. We've not discussed it before. It's new to the book. Michael Joyner. This case is from October 22nd, 2020. On October 22nd, 2020, the Rocky Mount Police Department responded to a call of shots fired after an argument on Coley Road, Rocky Mount. Michael Joyner was arguing with a person and a fight started. A man on scene got an AK-47 and shot Michael Joyner. It is not clear if the person he was fighting fired the shots. He passed away from his injuries. Yeah, this is new to me. I
haven't heard of this one. Where
Me
is
neither.
Coley Road? I'm trying
Coley-
to think. Is that?
I'm not familiar with Coley Road in Rocky
I think
Mount.
it's outside of Rocky Mount, west. I think it is off of,
Like Westmount area?
no, I think it's somewhere out 43. I'm not sure. I better not say
Mhm.
because I'm not sure where Coley Road is, but I've heard of it. So there was an argument
Mm-hmm.
and fight started, and one of the men got an AK-47 and shot Michael Joyner. So we don't know who fired the shots.
Don't know. Mm-mm. Sounds like, based on the narrative given, there were possibly multiple people that could have witnessed this.
That's what it sounds like. It really does.
Um,
It said a man on scene, so it
Mhm.
sounds like it was more than, one. I know that. Okay, if anybody knows anything about Michael Joyner, it's pretty recent, October of 2020. So, last 3 years. So, if you, not even quite 3 years. So, if you know anything about the death, the homicide of Michael Joyner, please call the number on the screen or call Crime Stoppers. It is a Rocky Mount Police Department case. So, I know you want some cash. So, there's Twin County Crime Stoppers. 977-1111. Cash rewards and confidentiality guaranteed. There you go, right there.
mhm.
All right, we'll go on to the next case.
All right, the next one we've talked about a few times, Tavarius Lynch. This case is from November 16th, 2020. At approximately 6:34 p.m., Tavarius was on the 1700 block of Bedford Road in Rocky Mount. He was parked in the cul-de-sac and sitting in his vehicle. Suspects approached the vehicle and started shooting. Lynch was struck by gunfire and died.
Yeah, I remember us talking about this case.
Yeah.
And it almost sounds like he was sitting why are you sitting in a cul-de-sac?
Mm-hmm.
It almost sounds like he went there to maybe
Meet somebody. Mhm.
And, I don't know if it was pick up some drugs or what, but anyway, that's what it sounds like, that he was
Mhm.
meeting somebody, but, somebody knew he was there, that he
Mhm.
knows, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think it sounds like a situation where he knew, the shooter. So,
The shooter knew he was going to be
And
at
the
this
shooter-
predetermined location at this predetermined time.
exactly.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I agree with that.
That's
Yeah.
what it sounds like
Yeah.
to me. But anyway, 6:34 p.m. I mean, not even dark.
Mhm.
So, because this was in November, it may have been dark.
It's probably
but
getting dark.
just getting dark.
Mhm.
I mean, Okay, we'll move on to Philip Willoughby. I do remember we
Yeah.
talked about this.
We
case
have
several
talked about this
times.
case, and it is so odd.
It is.
It involves multiple agencies. Philip Lee Willoughby, November 27th, 2020. In the morning hours, Nash County Sheriff's Office and the State Highway Patrol responded to a hit and run involving a pedestrian on NC 231 in Nash County, just at the Middlesex city limits. Middlesex Police Department was also involved in this.
Yes, I
Upon
remember
arrival,
he said that.
Upon arrival, troopers discovered a deceased male who was identified as Philip Lee Willoughby Jr. of Middlesex. Mr. Willoughby had been struck by an unknown vehicle, and the vehicle fled the scene after impact. Investigators believe that he ran out of gas on the night of November 27th, 2020, left his car at a nearby Dollar General, and was walking home when he was hit. Middlesex police had spoke with him that night, but Willoughby told him that he was waiting on a ride. At last check, the keys to his vehicle were never found. His cell phone was found several days later in an area that had already been searched multiple times. They actually believe that the perpetrator from this took the phone back to the scene. But this is the case
Wow.
that has so many oddities.
I can't wrap my head around this.
His
case.
his debit card was used at the Walmart in Zebulon.
Really?
Yes.
See, I can't get this in my mind right.
He was seen on camera at the Dollar General with some other people in the store kind of watching him, almost like following him.
Wow.
He was seen a short while later at the pit stop in Middlesex with this same suspect vehicle kind of circling the store.
So
almost
was this
like watching.
robbery?
I'm going to speculate that I think, based on what I've heard and what I would draw a conclusion, I think it was a random, targeted robbery. I do. I
Because
believe
didn't
that.
somebody say that the guy was, not a bad guy?
No, that's right. And they also say that he had a large. It appears as though he had a knot of cash when he was paying at the Dollar General.
Oh, I get it.
And these other people may have saw him with that, what I call a knot.
Which is something that I would tell anybody not to do.
Yeah.
Do not pull out a wad of cash
Don't.
anywhere in public.
People will kill you over nothing.
They will. Thank goodness for a debit card.
Yeah.
Steal them too, but anyway. So, okay, I'm getting the picture a little bit more now. As many times as I've heard this case, well, you would think that they know I'm on TV, because I told them. But anyway, so it's probably robbery. It's probably, you know, it seems that the guy was an okay guy. I don't think he had a record. I don't think he, you know, somebody was, I don't know if it was the chief from Middlesex when he was on with me one time, we were talking about it. And I think he, you know, he said that it, you know, it didn't seem to be anything wrong with the guy.
This young man was a squared away individual in the community. Good
Wow.
guy, great guy. Now,
So he ran out of gas.
this other person who I believe robbed him, who I believe played a role in hurting or killing him, I see him from time to time around Bailey, and it's all I can do just to...
Really?
It's one of those situations where they don't quite have enough evidence to bring charges.
I hate it when it's like that. And we've got several cases in this book that we have talked to investigators that say, we know who did it, but we just have to prove it beyond that shadow of the doubt.
So every time I see this guy walking around Bailey, or I see him in the Dollar General in Bailey, or I see him in the grocery store in Bailey, I think, I know what you did. I can't prove it. I know what you did.
Wow.
But I wish somebody would come forward with this, would come forward with information that they know that could bring closure and justice and accountability.
So
to-
they didn't steal the car.
No.
It didn't have any gas in it, right?
No, right. He was just struck
But they
and
couldn't-
left for dead.
Right. And they couldn't find the keys.
Right. He was walking.
He was walking, yeah, because he had run out of gas. That's what they speculated was the reason he was walking anyway. Okay, well, our time's up. We'll start back next week with another case. Looks like we've got a couple of other cases coming up next week that we have not discussed before. So, we'll do that next week on the K-Files. Thank you for watching. Think about it, folks. If you know anything, we won't tell who you are. We don't want to know who you are. We're not going to ask who you are. Just give us a tip. That's all we want. We'll give you some
Smallest
cash.
little detail. The
Yes.
smallest little detail could bring a suspect to justice, and you get paid.
And it could be the tip they're looking for. Absolutely could. Make it a great day.